Hi there. This video is to help you with menu command with your MAT85 label system. The menu command is the management portal, or where you actually enter all of your management information that you want to send to the tablet for all your users to start printing labels. So it's a situation that this program is the manager's program where you actually enter your details. Okay. So to get on the program, what you would normally do is you'd be sent an email from our tech department asking you to create your own password. And when you'd created your own password, it would have automatically taken you to the program. So I'm assuming that you've had your details, you've had your username, and you've created your own password. So let's get back onto menu command. So we press our browser, and I use Google Chrome, which I think is the best one to use, and we write in the URL. The URL is https://menu command.daymark.com. Okay, we just press enter and it takes you through to the logging in page. Okay, what I suggest you do at the moment is once you've got to this stage, press the little star on the corner and then press done to bookmark. So whenever you then load your browser, you'll be able to get straight to this page. So what you now need to do is to log on to the system, and you'd use your username, which is normally your email address. I've got that one there, and then you enter your password. I'm just putting mine in, which will be different to yours. So click to log in, and it takes us through to the dashboard. The dashboard is just a quick flash of what you've got going on. It shows you how many categories, items, batches, videos, etc. that you might have on the system. Over to the left, it shows you a list of your recent activity. Over on the right, if you've done any announcements on the system, it shows you what those announcements are. Now, a couple of things that you'll probably need to know is that at the top of the screen here, it tells you that it's you, first of all, that it's your account that you're dealing with. And secondly, over here, and this is depending on the size of your screen. If you've got a large screen, you'll see all the information on the left. However, when I click the little head icon, it shows that it's me that's logged on to the system. Okay, so always good to check that it's you, obviously. So what we're going to do is we actually want to be able to use this system to create the products to print labels for. Okay, so what we're going to do is 95% of your time is spent on this next one down called menu data. So we click menu data, and when you click it, 3 other choices come up, and we're going to click categories. Now, categories are the areas of your business that you've got items that go in. I've got things like the prepared veg, the dried store, the main meals, and the soup. So what I'm going to do is actually create a new category in front of you so you can see what you want to do. So to create a new category, we go to add new record. Can you see here? So I'll just click that, and what it does is over here, it actually has got an empty box ready for you to fill in. Now, my new category, I think I'll call it breakfast for my breakfast items. So BREAKFAST. Okay, now once I've written it in, I'm actually going to save it. So you only actually write in the name of the category, and then over here, next to where you put add new record, we hit save changes. It will actually then tell you that you've done it and come up with the OK box. Now you can see here we've now got breakfast as a category. It's got no icon, it's black in colour, and that's what we've got. So what we're going to do is over right on the right hand side, there's this button here. These are the edit buttons. So if I click it, it's then going to let me edit what the breakfast category looks like. So just below where it says the actual title, which is breakfast, there's this little black box. This is so that you can choose the colour of the tiles that are going to be shown on your tablet, so that your staff, if you have a particular colour, can easily identify what the products they're looking at. If it's going to be breakfast, should we do it as green? So I hit in the green section along the bottom, and then the exact tone of green I want, I just click in the box and then hit apply. So all of our breakfast items will now be this coloured green. We then give it a category icon, and it's not important that you give it an icon, it's just it looks a bit better. So I'm just going to click that, and there's a number of ones that you can work with. I'm going to go to miscellaneous because I like the chef's hat. And then finally, update. So now that breakfast back on this categories page, we know it's got a little hat as the icon and all the tiles are going to be green. So we've created a category called breakfast. You are obviously going to make the right amount of categories that you need for your business, but you know, it's up to you which ones you do. So now we've made a category, we then have to think about what are we going to put in that category. So we need to make some items. So if I then click items, can you see where I did that? Right next to where it said categories, in the middle there it's items. And this page is split up again. On the left hand side over here, we have all of your existing products. And on the right hand side from here across is where you fill in the attributes of those products. So let's go back up to the top, and we've had a look at penny pasta. So let's actually create a whole new item now. So on the right hand side here, I think you can see the little plus in the corner. I'm going to click the plus and it's going to create a new item. So what should we call this? What goes in the breakfast? Let's say we're going to do a waffle, W-A-F-F-L-E, okay? And the category is in breakfasts. So it's always going to show up there. And it says waffle for the name on the label. The layout I want to do, now I want to actually sell these waffles, but this one is actually for storage. So I'm going to get my storage label again, which is that one, and that's the label I'm going to choose. So we're done on this first section. If I wanted to add a photo, I'd click here and add a photo of the waffle. I then go to my shelf life and hold time, and prepared, and I'm not going to put any details in there because I've just made it now and I'm just labeling it now. So my default message here would be discard by, and I'm going to give that 2 days. Okay, so that's ready to, in fact, no, I'm going to give that 1 day. So I've made it today, and then that will show tomorrow's date as the discard day. So let's then go down to ingredients and pricing. So price, let me just put in, let's say £2.75. So if I did actually sell it, I'd know the price I was selling it at. My ingredients, flour, I'm not too sure what's in that. But let's do wheat and then gluten. Now, when you're writing allergens, the allergens themselves can be in capitals or bold. As far as Natasha's law, it says as long as they are distinguishable from the other items, and also the label should say allergens in bold or allergens in capitals or whichever you choose. So there's flour in there. What else have we got in there? We've got eggs. Now, eggs are an ingredient, but they're also an allergen at the same time. So we write them in as an actual, in capitals, as if they were an allergen. So what else is in there? We're going to put a little bit of sugar in here. Sugar is not an allergen. And then we're going to put some milk. Now, the thing is, milk is an allergen, so it goes in capitals. So there we are, we've got our ingredient list. So let's have a look at what else we've got to fill in. Our nutritional information. So here is, I'm just going to put in my allergens, and we have gluten, basically from wheat. We have milk, and we have eggs. Okay. Interestingly, if it's an allergen list to be used back of the house, it's not under Natasha's law, so you can just list them in normal text. You don't have to do capitals or bold or anything like that. So anyway, we've created the product and we hit save, and we've now saved that product. So item saved successfully. Now here's a little tip for you. Can you see we've done item waffle? Let's say we wanted to do a strawberry waffle. So all we would need to do is at the bottom here, there is save as copy. So we click that, and now it shows we've got 2 waffles. So the one that we're working on, we now write strawberry. And as I click away from that, can you see that the items actually change with it? So that's the thing we changed there. The shelf life and the hold times stay the same. The ingredient and pricing part, we just add strawberry, which isn't an allergen, and nutritionals, that's all the same. There's no allergens in strawberries, and hence we just hit save. So if you're making items that are similar, so now it's shown we've got a strawberry waffle and a normal waffle, you can use the save as copy and just update the differing information. This is useful when you're doing like cheese sandwiches, then you do a cheese and tomato, then you might do a cheese and ham, then you might do a cheese and pickle, and then a cheese and onion, etc, etc. So it's a case that you don't always have to keep writing everything out from scratch. Save as copy is a really useful way of doing that. So we've looked at creating a category, and we created this breakfast category. We then looked at our items, and if I look at the breakfast category in the items, it shows us the 2 products that we've made. And I click on one of them for edit, and it then shows what is there for that, and you can tell that I'm working on it because it says it in red at the top. Okay, so that's all there. So we've created categories, we've created items. So 95% of everything you need to do is done. You know, you will just create categories, create items, and as you do them, they will appear then on your menu pilot when you turn it on. Okay, there are a couple of other things that I'd like you to know. The first one is locations. So down the side here, there's lots of different things which we'll talk about later, but I'm going to click on locations. So this is where you would actually have all the different places that you have in your business. So it might be a store, a shop in your town, which is your main one, and then you might have another one. So let's add a new store to the system. I press add store. You can fill in all this information here, but the only required field is the name. So let's say we've got a store in Windsor. So WINDSOR, we then have a Windsor shop, and we can just press create. Okay, so when I go to back to menu data and look at our items, just press create there. I don't think it took it. There we go, we're in. So you can see we've got our entrance tablet, we've got a store in Cardiff and a store in Windsor. So what we're going to do is go back to our menu data, look at our items, and we can actually get our strawberry waffle, which we made earlier, and of all our shops, I can actually allocate that by pressing the thing to not go to every store, but just be available in Windsor. So if I press save on that, then that strawberry waffle will only ever show up at the Windsor store, which is quite clever. Or what you could also do is if you've got something at one store that you then want to send to everybody and let them do it, we click the top box, save, and then it's going to now be ready at all your stores. So if there's different stores that need different things, you can actually separate them out. So that is what we call locations, so you can have different areas doing different things. But what you can also do is, the other thing I wanted to tell you about was user details. So I know I've got my products in here. If you wanted to add a user, I'd press add. I'd then have the store name, which would be Windsor. I'd then put my email for it, which is Windsor at waffles.com. Now, what would happen at the moment, and we want to give them ability to use the Windsor tablet, so we just click the bottom there for the locations and they're permitted to use anything for Windsor. Now, we can fill in the company name and all that, but what we're going to do is, if you sent it like this, we'd then be sending an email to windsor@waffles.com asking them to create their own password. But what you can do is untick that box that says send mail, and you could write your own password. Now, I'm going to write in a password, say, but you don't know what that is, do you? So if in the notes when you're doing this and you write, oh, my apologies, the password must be 8 characters and include at least 1 letter and 1 number. So let me do that again. Okay, but what I'm going to do now is actually write it here under notes. Now, I've put it in notes, and I'll show you why I've done that as well, in the fact that when I create that as a user for the Windsor store to log into, here where it says Windsor, I can actually see what their password is if I need to get onto that tablet. So if the person that knows has left, or they've mislaid it or whatever, they can still get onto the tablet using windsor@waffles.com, and their password, because you've written it in notes, you'll know what that is. If you didn't write it in notes, that would still be lost. However, if you needed to send a reset to their password, you click this at the end here, and that would send an email to windsor@waffles.com and actually ask them to create a new password. Okay, so that's the users. So we've looked at creating categories, which are the different areas of your business. We've looked at the items, which are all the items that you might have in your business. We've then looked at creating locations, which might be different shops in your business or different parts of kitchens within your building or whatever it is. And then you can have users as people that you can actually have in the business. Okay, so they've got their own logins. The importance of their logins comes into play when you look at the activity that's gone on and you can see who's done what on the activity. Okay, so we've looked at the big things that you need to know about. What I'm going to do now is just give you a little bit of a hand about finding other things out. So we've got the menu command here. At the very, very bottom, you'll see we've got an item called support. I'm just going to click on support, and it says contact. So we click contact, and you can then email our tech department straight away. Put your email address there, your company, what the subject is, and write the email and submit that. That will create a ticket. They will then contact you to try and sort your problem out if you have one. Okay, which is quite useful. Well, it's useful if you're not sure what you're doing. We hit support again, we go to solutions. Now, solutions is very, very useful indeed. We've got a quick start guide for the whole setup, for the printer, connection guide and video, user guide, etc., etc. Now, these are guides that are PDFs which you just click on and they download. So let's have a look at the menu command user guide, which is what we're talking about at the moment. You click it, it comes like this, and then you click the PDF icon and it comes up with a guide of what's on there, so you see the full document. So anything that we haven't covered in this video basically is in here. So you'll recognize some of the things that we looked at earlier about creating all the different things on there, and it gives you more written detail onto all the things that I've spoken about and everything else. It also shows you how to add recipes to an item and also how to link videos to an item. Okay, so also in here, and if we go back, we've got troubleshooting. So different things that we've worked out that cause problems. So if the printer's not connecting properly, if your labels go out of alignment, things that might be missing from menu pilot, etc. It gives you a bit of troubleshooting on things to look for. We've also got frequently asked questions on how to do certain things, and also some video tutorials of how to do other things as well. So things like print a label, so I click it, I hit print a label as a link, it then goes straight to YouTube and shows us on video how to print a label. Okay, in fact we might as well just watch a bit of this. And there we go, that's one of the videos. Okay, what we've also got here is guides of obviously the videos that I've said, but there is one other thing that's sort of obviously built into the system which I think is very, very useful. Down on the bottom left hand corner you'll see this little blue box. If you click it, it comes up with a chat. So you say who you are and everything else, and you can just have a text message with the tech department as well. So there are a number of ways that we can help you sort any issues that you might have. So again, you've got your menu command. This is where you enter all of your details of your products that you're going to use on the tablet and print labels for. I hope this has been useful and hope to speak to you again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.